Hi everyone, today we're going to be making little notebooks using the Let It Be Keepsake edition. This one I have some flowers, there's a little die cut bee. This is a die cut from the paper collection. I added some flowers and some fibers. When you open it, there's a tag, and I use some of the stickers. Then on this side, this is a large ephemera piece. Made a little pocket on this side, stuck in some ephemera, and it made a tag. Then for the notebook, used the die cut over here and some of the paper collection. This is a ephemera piece that I turned into a pocket. I stuck that ephemera piece in and a tag using some of the stickers on the tag. For this one, I added some of the die cuts, just black. I did add some yellow that I inked. Have a little bee that I cut and colored. Added some ribbon for a closure. Put this up on chipboard and popped this up a little and added some fibers under the back. When you open it up, there's a tuck spot here under the flowers. That's a piece of ephemera. On this side, I just made a tuck spot and added a little die cut bee. On this side, I just created a pocket and stuck a tag in it that I made. And my notebook, some of the bees. My last one, and then I tied it on the back. Then when you flip it over, I added that sticker sentiment and a die cut bee. I added some graphic 45 washi tape around my chipboard and then put my image on. Added some flowers and an ephemera bee. Spot for a little bit of journaling. I left this open so you could tuck something back there. Put a large tag with some stickers on it in the pocket I made and added a piece of ephemera. Then my little notebook. This is an ephemera piece that I just put some foam tape on. So today we're going to make this one. To make these, you're going to need the Let It Be Keepsake kit with the exclusive metal die set. I'm going to be using Busy Bee and Sweet As Can Be. You're going to need some graphic 45 chipboard and a piece of red cardstock cut to 6 by 12. You're going to need some ribbon and a notepad. This one is 4 inches by 6 inches. So to start with, you're going to score at 3 inches, 3.5, 8 1/4, 8 3/4, So now I'm going to take this to my sewing machine and I'm just going to sew some zigzag lines across the score lines. So I got that done. I feel like that will just support my score lines and keep my book together better. So you're going to fold on your score lines. So I'm going to turn it over to the front side. And I already cut my sweet as can be paper. So I cut one at 4 5/8 by 5 7/8. And I inked around it with Vintage Photo. That's going to go in the largest section, watching my score lines. Then I cut 2 at 3 1/8 by 5 7/8. I'm going to set one aside. I also inked around all of these. This one's going to go over here on the next biggest section, evenly watching my score line. On this side, I have 2 magnets. And I'm going to place a magnet about a 1/2 inch in. So I'm going to turn it this way, and I cut 2 pieces at 2 7/8 by 5 7/8. And it goes on this side. Watching your score line. So then I cut 4 pieces at 3/8 by 5 7/8. 2 of these are going to go on the 1/2 inch spine. Flip it over to the inside. I cut another piece at 1 inch by 5 7/8. And it's going to go on your right side, right up next to this first score line, but not over it. My 2 3/8 pieces I'm going to glue on the little 1/2 inch here. So I'm going to take my other magnet and stick it down here. Grab some score tape and the sticky sides up. I'm just going to put my notebook in here. Stick my magnet down. Now I'm going to glue in my last 2 pieces. Okay, we're going to go back to the front. And I used the die cuts and cut some of them. This is from the ephemera collection. And this was from my other pattern paper. I cut these 2 squares out, and then I cut the center out of this one. Then I cut 2 pieces of chipboard that fit right under my square images. I'm going to put this image right on top of my bigger piece of chipboard. I'm just gonna set my notebook inside. Then I'm only gonna put glue on this side. And right along the edge in the middle. I'm going to center this kind of where I feel like I want it. Like that. And I'm going to open up my book, grab this image, and I'm only going to put glue on it to about right here. And along the bottom. Line it up with my chipboard. I'm going to place this right along the edge here. Then I'm just going to add just a little bit to the bottom. And trim it off. Then I'm going to take that ephemera and I'm just going to put some glue on this side. I'm going to stick it down right over my magnet. So it's like that. I'm going to take my smaller piece of chipboard and the little image I cut out of the center. And I'm going to center that image right on top of my chipboard. These are the strings that I cut off of when I sewed those little zigzags. I'm just gonna grab some score tape. Put a little bit in here. Then I'm just going to add some of these fibers to the score tape. Kind of like that. Then I'm going to take that image, center it over where I cut it out at, and over the fibers. Like that. Then I have a little bee that I colored and cut out, and just a plain black one that I cut out with the die. I'm just going to stick my colored one right on top. I did not glue the wings down so that they could lift up a little. This little bee is going to go right up here in the corner. Same thing with my other bee. I'm gluing them onto a little black one. Leaving the wings free to bend. And he's just going to go right down here in this corner. So now we're going to go to our notepad. And I'm going to use mustard seed. I'm just going to go around all the sides of my notepad. I had a little bit of my sweet as can be paper left. So I'm going to trim it down to 4 inches. By 6. And it's going to go right on top of my notebook. So I have a scrap from the paper we used, and this little strip of words. This is from the ephemera collection, and this also. I cut out this from the die set and I colored it. So I'm going to take this sentiment and glue it right over here on the edge. I'm just going to trim off my extra. Then I'm going to take this striped paper, put it right next to my sentiment. I still have some of that left, so I'm just going to add some glue up here. And stick this on. Trim off the excess. Then I'm going to take that die cut piece, put my little bees, then I'm going to take the piece of ephemera and I'm going to put glue only on 2 sides on the bottom. That creates a pocket. I'm going to stick that piece of ephemera in there. I cut a 2-inch wide piece of paper and I use this punch to punch the top. I'm going to trim it off about right there. And I'm going to round the corners. I'm going to grab the sticker sheet. And I'm going to use the Buzz Buzz. Trim it off. From the ephemera assortment, this little circle. Then I cut a circle from the red. I'm going to center that. Then from the sticker sheet, this little buzz sticker. And that slides right in my little pocket. My little sunflower. Now you need about a 3-inch piece of ribbon. And I like to use pencils in my notebooks, so that's what I'm going to be adding. You can add a pen if you prefer a pen. So I kind of figure out where I want my pencil. I mark where my little arm here meets the pencil. Grab your score tape. Then you want to stick one side down, add more score tape, add your other part of your ribbon. Then I usually add score tape right up to my edge. So that leaves us a little pencil loop. Now you want to apply a lot of glue. Then you want to put it right up next to the hinge, even at the top and bottom. I usually turn mine over and burnish down. So now our pencil fits right over there. I had some clear transparency, so used a die and cut it. And then I was thinking I could just use it as a stencil. Kind of like that. I'll probably go back and do that to a few of the pages. So to finish up this side, this is from the ephemera collection. I'm going to put a little glue on the sides and the bottom. I'm going to center that right at the bottom. And that creates a little pocket. I'm just going to add a little ink around the edges over here. Then I made 2 more tags. One's gonna poke in over here. And this one will go in this little pocket. Then I have these 2 pieces of ephemera. I decided I wanted to fill in some of the little circles. Then I just used a little bit vintage photo and ink around them. Then I pick where I want to put it. I'm going to add a few more. So then I also decided I want to add some flowers right over this little bee. And a little flower right up here. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed my tutorial.